Please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moving on to approval of our minutes from the April 8th meeting, starting with the work session.
I make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
It's been moved by Mike and seconded by Bill. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Those minutes are approved. Next, we have the April 8th regular Select Board minutes.
I move that the regular Select Board minutes be approved as written.
A second.
It's been moved by Bill, seconded by Mike. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Those minutes are approved. And finally, the non-public meeting of April 8, 2013.
I move to approve the minutes of the non-public of April 8, 13.
Second.
It's been moved by Mike and seconded by Bill. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Those minutes are approved. And I've said this before, but just as a reminder to the public, we received the minutes by email prior to the meeting, so we do have an opportunity to review them. Sometimes they're pretty lengthy, but we have read them. We aren't just looking at them here for the first time. Announcements. The Select Board will meet on the following dates. Regular meetings at 6 p.m. on Monday, May 13th and Tuesday, May 28th, 2013. Work review sessions prior to the regular meeting will start at 5 p.m. Work session will also be held on April 29, 2013 at 5 p.m. This is based on the fact that we've got a 5-Monday month this month. All of these meetings will be held at the Town Hall unless otherwise posted. Weather observations for the month of March are available in the Town Hall. Citizens wishing to be listed on the Selectmen's agenda should notify the Town Hall before 12 p.m. on the Friday before the scheduled meeting. And our police chief has asked that we also make an announcement about a scam that is taking place nationwide, really, following the tragedy in Boston last Monday. The National Cybersecurity and Communications Integration Center has released this statement titled, "Malicious Actors Take Advantage of Boston Marathon Explosion." Individuals wasted no time registering domain names related to the explosions at the Boston Marathon. Some of the domains are likely to take advantage of those interested in learning more details about the explosions. Others will likely target individuals looking to contribute to fundraising efforts. It is unclear what each registrant's intent may be, but historically, scammers, spammers, and other malicious actors capitalize on major news events by registering such domains. In addition to fake domains, malicious actors may also create fake social media accounts with similar intent. Twitter account @Boston Marathon was created shortly after the explosions took place. The account stated it would donate $1 for each retweet and was crafted to closely resemble the legitimate Boston Marathon Twitter account. This account has since been suspended by Twitter. However, the likelihood that similar social media accounts will surface remains high. The NCCIC recommends that all persons looking to donate money in support of those affected by the events last Monday rely on official fundraising charities such as the American Red Cross. Exercise caution when clicking on links or interacting with social media accounts that claim to represent the best interests of those involved in this incident. Additionally, when searching for updates on the story, it is safest to go directly to trusted news sources rather than conducting general search engine queries. And if anyone would like additional information concerning this scam, you are welcome to contact our police chief. You can go online to plymouthpd.org, or you can call the police station. Thank you. Okay. And under other business, we have First on the agenda, Mike Conklin with a discussion of the proposed Time Warner Cable franchise agreement.
All right. Well, we talked about this a little bit during our work session. For those of you who may have an interest, we still have a couple of areas in town where there is not cable service. It's out Texas Hill Road toward the Bridgewater Town line, and is it Oak Ridge Road off Thurlow Street. And I think what we're going to do with this contract is try to maybe over some time get the rest of Texas Hill Road done, and maybe we understand that there's some utility work probably in the offing for Oak Ridge Road, and maybe try to coordinate with Time Warner so that they can put their cable in when that's redone. So that's the thought, that's really the extent of our thought about extending it. We aren't aware of any other areas in town where there is no cable service. And then there are a couple other points in this proposed contract. We're planning to enter into probably an 8 or 10-year contract with Time Warner. It will be pretty much the sort of contract we have today. The town gets some revenue from it. Time Warner contributes the 2 access channels that we have now. And I think that's about seems to me the important things for what people are. There are a few other details. If anybody has any interest at all in seeing the contract or the proposed contract, I don't think there's any reason that we can't share that. So contact me or the town office. And I guess, did we have any other discussion about that?
That was about it. Thank you, Mike. Okay, moving on to appointments. We have a request from Patricia Dimmitt for reappointment to Parks and Recreation Commission. She writes to our Mr. Larry Gibson at Parks and Rec saying, "Dear Mr. Gibson, I am writing to inform you that I would like to be reappointed to the Plymouth Parks and Recreation Commission. I've served on the commission since 2004 on the program subcommittee, and I look forward to serving the town of Plymouth for another 4 years. Sincerely, Patricia Dimmitt," who is a teacher at the Plymouth Elementary School. So, any questions or discussion? Have I a motion to reappoint?
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been moved by Bill and seconded by Mike. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Patricia Dimmitt is reappointed. Next, we have Peter Cherichetti, PSU appointment of part-time police officer Zachary W. Moylan. Would you like to?
Good evening.
Evening.
Hello.
Zach Moylan, who is a part-time officer candidate with our department, is also a full-time Plymouth State University student. Zach comes to us from Temple, New Hampshire. He came to the university about 3 years ago, involved in our criminal justice program at Plymouth State. He is a graduate of the New Hampshire Police Cadet Training Academy that's held down in Concord every year for cadets that are age 14 to 21, as well as he has been employed as a seasonal park ranger for Mount Monadnock in their forest ranger program down there. He serves with the University Police Department currently as a student officer, and he's looking to grow forward into becoming a part-time police officer and then eventually, hopefully, into a full-time role with the law enforcement agency.
Any questions for?
So, are you going to be graduating in May?
No, sir. I'll be graduating next fall.
Another
This is
year.
the end of my junior year.
And now, when could you go to the police academy? I'm sort of unschooled here, I guess, but when could you go to the police academy if you wanted to be a full-time permanent police officer?
For full-time academy, once I graduate school here at Plymouth State, that's what I'll be looking to do. Excuse my voice, I'm getting over losing it over the weekend.
Oh, okay.
But for right now, the part-time academy is held 2 days a week, Tuesday and Thursday nights, and all day on Saturday. And that gets you part-time certified as a part-time police officer, and that's what I'd be looking to get into beforehand.
Are there things that you can't do that that a certified officer can do? Or you're just plain educating me, I guess, but what's the difference between your role and that of somebody who's a certified full-time police officer?
His limitation will be, as a part-time certified officer, that he cannot work more than 1,300 hours in any calendar year. The standards and training requirement is that anyone that works over that amount of hours in a year, they're required to attend the full-time police academy.
And I see from your letter that his background investigation has been reviewed and approved by Chief Lefebvre. Steve, do you have anything to add?
The only thing I have to add is I hope after he graduates, either the town or the university can retain him and hire him full-time, because he's a really good kid.
Well, that's good to hear. All right, with that, do I have a motion to approve Zachary W. Moylan's appointment as a part-time police officer for the Plymouth State University?
I move to approve the appointment.
All right,
I'll second it.
it's been moved by Neil and seconded by Mike. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That appointment is approved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, and congratulations, and welcome to
Good luck, sir. Thanks for coming.
to the force. Thank you, sir. And we have got his appointment for his certificate, Paul. Will that get sworn in by the town clerk tomorrow? So we'll get this signed today, and
Thank you very much.
great, thank you. We'll sign this after we're done with our meeting. All right, next we have Sharon Penny, zoning board appointment of Omer Ahern Jr. Sharon?
Thank you. I believe you all have a letter that we received today from Mr. Ahern. He's come forward as a volunteer seeking appointment to our zoning board of adjustment to replace Mr. MacGyver, who's obviously had to recuse himself and leave the ZBA because of his election to the Board of Selectmen. I feel very comfortable with this individual being appointed to the ZBA, and I'm going to cough here, so excuse me. We've all just gotten over that cold. We have not had an overabundance of people applying for this volunteer position, and I would very much like to get someone in position who is qualified, as Mr. Ahern is, because we're now currently at a 4-person ZBA, which really lends itself to deadlocking, and that creates a whole raft of problems in terms of procedure. So I'm hoping that you will approve his application to the ZBA, and if so, we're also looking for at least one more alternate so that we don't end up in a dead heat on anything. So if you put that out there to the folks out there. It doesn't pay anything, but it can be slightly less labor intensive than the planning board, because this board does only meet when there are applications to review. So it's a volunteer position. At worst, it would be 12 meetings a year, and it's usually less than that. So thank you.
Okay, any questions for Sharon?
I think he's well qualified.
Yeah.
I would make a motion to appoint Omer as a member of this zoning board of adjustment.
I'll second that.
It's been moved by Mike, seconded by Bill. All those in favor? Aye. Omer is appointed to the zoning board of adjustment, and we do have all of these certificates that we need to sign for the appointments we did tonight, so.
I have a question about planning board. Would now be a good time?
Planners here, probably.
Does the planning board need any more slots filled?
Just trying to remember who. Yeah, Jack Scarborough appointed as an alternate. And I'm on a blank here on anyone else. I know that Mike Ahern was reappointed. We are looking for a new person for a full-time planning board member rather than an additional alternate to replace Rhonda Bishop. So that slot is still open believe, at this point. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on that. I just would have to get the paperwork. I know that, you know, obviously there was an incident of recusal, and between recusals, which are a natural order of things most of the time, and just simple absence, we do need some alternates, so that's still out there.
I know we've needed alternates. I know we had not replaced Rhonda Bishop.
We've
and-
queried some people, but they have graciously said no, so it's a little more work. So.
Once again, for the public, both the Zoning Board of Adjustment and the Planning Board are in need of volunteers, and if you have questions about it, you can contact the planner, Sharon Penny, at the Town Hall, and she'll be more than happy to discuss it with you. So, moving on, under Chairman's comments, I'd just like to remind everyone, at our last meeting, we did sign a proclamation concerning Thursday, April 25th, as Pay It Forward Plymouth Day. So all are encouraged to do good deeds for others without asking for anything in return, except that the recipient pay it forward to others in need. Okay, permit requests.
The first two permits I have here are for the semi-quincentennial parade and the Memorial Day parade. I just feel that it's important that we hold ourselves to the same standard as we do everybody else. That's why I'm asking the board to sign these permits. I had the deputy chief write this letter to the board. I can't imagine we're going to charge ourselves the $50 fee to put on these events, but that's the letter requesting the $50 fee be waived, which we would require from anybody else. And then the permit is obviously for the semi-quincentennial parade itself, which requires board approval and signature on the back.
Okay. This is the semi-quincentennial. Any questions for Steve concerning this event?
So why would we waive the $50? That will
I know that the parade subcommittee has got, the applications are out and they're soliciting people to participate, and I think it's going to be big, really big. I'm wondering how they're going to get the parade in the time frame that they've identified for it, but
Yeah, it's going to be difficult, that's for sure.
no.
But we do have a meeting coming up. They're trying to settle on a date for a logistical meeting so we can figure all that out to make sure everything is going to work. Because there is a lot of activities planned.
Anyway, anybody see any issue with approving this permit for our own big party?
I think the plans are well underway.
Yeah. And we don't need to vote on this one, do we? Or we do need to vote on this, so,
Well,
Combine motion to approve the permit and to waive the fee.
all right.
I would make a motion to approve the permit for the, I'm going to call it the 250th parade celebration, and for the Memorial Day parade. Can I make them both at the same time, and that we waive the fees for both?
Second.
It's been moved by Mike, seconded by Neil. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Both of those are approved.
You stole my thunder. You made that very easy for me, Mike.
I can't say semi-quincentennial.
Semi-quincentennial, it's just,
I remember the 1963 parade.
You can
and
spell it.
They had vehicles parked all the way from the end of Warren Street, all the way up through the side streets and all the way up past Fox Pond. And
Oh, boy.
our parade is going to start, the staging area is going to be down at the, across the bridge at PSU.
Oh, this
come
is-
across and around.
The next Thanks, Madam Chair. I have the memorandum of agreement from DRED. I think you remember signing this last year. It's from the Department of Resources and Economic Development because they were having some problems over there at Livermore Falls. And for us to go over there and back up the Holderness Police Department in order to enforce some of the rules and regulations, we have to have this memorandum of agreement with the Department of Resources and Economic Development. The board has signed this before. I think we're going to have to do this every year. I'm not sure. That's what I was told. And there are 2 copies, one for us and one for DRED itself.
It's pretty standard.
So what would the MOA cover? Is like, you know, if it's like it's like a party up there, just swim over to Holderness?
Yes, because it's actual DRED property.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, we have to be able to enforce their rules and regulations, and we can't do that without this memorandum of understanding, or memorandum of agreement, rather.
And Holderness also enters in with DRED?
Yeah, Holderness, Campton, us, I think the university, I think that's it.
So aside from their rules, we have the regular laws, the, you know, public intoxication, that sort of thing.
Correct.
Do you have the authority to enforce those laws on their property regardless of this?
Yes, as long as mutual aid is invoked by Holderness Police Department. That's a
Okay.
whole separate issue, but yes, because it's in Holderness,
Okay, I get it.
as long as mutual aid is invoked, we can go down there, we can enforce the regular laws and their rules and regulations as well.
Okay.
All right, so do I have a motion that we approve the renewal of this memorandum of agreement with DRED?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Bill, seconded by Mike. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? This is approved.
Really moved me on this one. Oh, she's,
It's okay. We're supposed to, like,
getting so confused.
Sorry to make you guys sign a million pieces of paper. It was just easier to get it all over at once.
Yep.
work.
That was number 4.
Million four, somewhere in that neighborhood. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Okay. Moving on to committee reports. Bill?
None. So,
Well, for once, I have something. I did go to the Chamber of Commerce annual meeting on last Thursday night, I think it was, and it was a very nice event over at the ice arena, and I think there were 100 and some people there. It was fairly well attended, but the good part was that our own Kevin Lincoln was given an award. I think it's called the Hobart Award, the Jim Hobart Award, from the Chamber for his contributions to the town, which I think, he's an Elks member, he's a call firefighter, I believe, but I think the primary thing they were looking at was the fact that he's been organizing the Toys for Tots program in town for, I think, more than 10, I think they said since 1998, maybe it's more than 10 years, I think. So that was nice to see. He was very gracious in accepting the award. And then our friends at Plymouth Water and Sewer received the Chamber's Green Award for the work that they've done to the building over there, the energy conservation and energy production work. So, and I guess if anybody hasn't seen that building, they welcome visitors, and it's pretty impressive. You can see what the photocells are doing all the time and what their net use of energy is. So it's worth going to take a look. And that's all I have.
Yeah?
Planning board didn't have a meeting.
Okay. And I did attend the PSU Community Task Force meeting, and at that, as people might recall, we formed the task force over a year ago in response to some truly terrible student behavior in the village. Since the task force formed, Student behavior has improved significantly. There have been a number of initiatives that the university has taken that have really made things better in the village, and we made the decision to not disband the task force, but to put it on hold unless it's needed again. And people are certainly invited to, continue to come to the CCC meetings. We have another CCC meeting next Tuesday at 5:30. Issues that come to the surface at CCC meetings will be brought to the attention of the task force leadership to make a decision about whether we need to rejuvenate the task force or keep it on hold. I also have a report from Dick Lewis, who is not with us this evening, but he did attend the Plymouth Village Water and Sewer meeting last Tuesday night. His report is as follows. There was a New Hampshire DOT presentation on some Route 93 repairs and upgrades. The commissioners discussed issues that might affect the town wells. A site visit will be held to review any areas of concern. There were discussions on the district rules and policies. Drafts will be prepared and distributed to the commissioners for comments. Mike McGinley was present, and he spoke about his concerns with the language of the approval document for the Tenny Mountain Highway development. The concern revolved around the need for perpetual responsibility of the utility lines under the highway and the impact such a responsibility has on the interest of commercial entities to build on the site. He also inquired about the 30-day appeal process for the decision issued at the end of March. A motion to reduce the period of responsibility to 10 years failed. The board agreed that this vote will start a fresh 30-day appeal period. I expect that Mr. McGinley will come back to the commissioners with an alternate proposal. It was mentioned that the perpetual responsibility language could be eliminated if he created an association for the care and maintenance of the utilities. This discussion will continue at the Plymouth Village Water and Sewer meeting of May 14th. There is also a district meeting on April 29, 2013, and it may be a topic of discussion then also. So that was from Mr. Lewis. We have no unfinished business. Is there any public comment this evening? There being none, we have no non-public business to take care of tonight. So I would ask if we have a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
It's been moved by Neil, seconded by Mike. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. This meeting is adjourned.